The modern world is a masterpiece of engineering designed to keep you running in place. You work a job you tolerate, to pay for a car you need to get to work, to pay for a house you leave empty all day while you are at work. We call this success. I call it a hamster wheel. And the only way to win a race on a hamster wheel is to step off. Rich is not a number. Rich is a ratio. And if there is one tragedy that repeats itself, generation after generation, it is this. We have confused income with wealth, and we have confused standard of living with quality of life. These are not the same things. In fact, they are often enemies. It goes against everything the television commercials, the credit card companies, and your neighbors want you to believe. They want you to believe that the solution to your anxiety is more money, more stuff, more house, more car. But I am here to tell you that you cannot fill a leaking bucket by pouring more water into it. You have to fix the leak. I have known men who made $500,000 a year who were fundamentally poor. They lived in terror. They couldn't sleep at night. Why? Because their burn rate, their need to consume, rose exactly as fast as their income. They were running on a treadmill set to the maximum speed, and one stumble meant ruin. I have also known men who made $40,000 a year who were wealthy. They slept soundly. They owned their time. They had dignity. Why? Because they understood the most powerful secret in finance. Freedom is not a number. Freedom lives in the gap between what you earn and what you burn. If you don't have a gap, you don't have a life. You have an obligation. Freedom is the gap between what you earn and what you need. If you earn $1 and you need $1.01 to live, you are a slave. It doesn't matter if that dollar is $1 million or minimum wage. The math is the same. The slavery is the same. But if you earn $1 and you have the discipline to need only 50 cents, you are a king. You have bought yourself options. You have bought yourself the ability to say no. Today, I want to teach you how to build that gap. I want to teach you how to escape the poverty mindset, which is a disease of the mind, not the wallet, and how to build a life of immense richness on an extremely low income. I'm going to talk about the arithmetic of sanity. I'm going to talk about the art of maintenance. And I'm going to talk about how to stop acting like a temporary tourist in your own life and start building a fortress that no recession, no job loss, and no inflation can destroy. The first step to escaping poverty is to understand where your money is actually going. Most people think they are paying for necessities. They tell me, Warren, I have to pay for the car, I have to pay for the house, I have to pay for the clothes. But if you look closely at the ledger, you will find that a very small percentage of your money goes to survival. Food, shelter, basic warmth, safety. These are cheap. The vast majority of your money goes to ego. It goes to status, it goes to convenience, and it goes to the avoidance of boredom. The modern economy is an engine designed to monetize your insecurity. You buy the expensive car not because it gets you from point A to point B faster, but because you want the person at the stoplight to think you are successful. You buy the bigger house not because you need the square footage, but because you want to host Thanksgiving and impress your in-laws. You buy the latest phone not because the old one is broken, but because the marketing convinced you that you are falling behind. This is the arithmetic of ego, and it is a tax you levy on yourself. The poverty mindset is the belief that you are defined by what you consume. It is the belief that if you spend less, you are less. This is a lie. I live in the same house I bought in 1958. It is a nice house, but it is not a palace. It is comfortable. It is warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Could I have bought a bigger house? Of course. I could have bought 10,000 houses. But why? What would a bigger house give me? It would give me more rooms to clean, more taxes to pay, more things to break, more distance from my family. It would not give me more happiness. In fact, it would take away my peace. When you strip away the ego costs, you realize that the cost of a good life is incredibly low. A good book costs $15 and provides 20 hours of entertainment and a lifetime of wisdom. A walk in the park is free. A conversation with a friend is free. A good night's sleep, which is worth more than any luxury car, is free, provided you aren't laying awake worrying about the payments on the car. To escape the poverty trap, you must perform a ruthless audit of your ego. You must look at every expense and ask, who is this for? Is this for me? Does this add value to my life? Or is this for an imaginary audience? Is this to prove something to a stranger? If you stop spending money to impress people who don't care about you, you will effectively double your income overnight. That is the math. And the math does not care about your feelings. It only cares about your solvency. The second great enemy of wealth, convenience. We have been trained like laboratory rats to choose the path of least resistance. We are tired, we are stressed, so we pay a premium for ease. We order food delivered because we are too tired to cook. That $20 meal could have been made at home for $3. We buy the pre-cut vegetables. We take the Uber instead of walking. We pay the subscription because we are too lazy to cancel it. This is the convenience tax. And for people on a low income, this tax is deadly. Wealthy people can afford to be lazy. Poor people cannot. If you are trying to build wealth, you must substitute labor for capital. If you don't have money, you must use your time and your effort. Cooking your own food is an act of financial rebellion. Repairing your own clothes is an act of financial rebellion. Learning to fix a leaky faucet instead of calling a plumber is an act of financial rebellion. Every time you do something yourself, you are paying yourself. You are keeping the profit margin that would have gone to the service provider. The poverty mindset says, I deserve a break. I deserve to relax. And I understand that. Life is hard. Work is exhausting. But you have to ask yourself, do you want to relax for an hour today? Or do you want to relax for the last 20, 30, or 40 years of your life? Because that is the trade you are making. When you pay for convenience today, you are paying with your future freedom. You are eating your seed corn. I have watched young people spend $15 a day on lunch. They say it's only $15, but over a working career invested at a modest return, that lunch habit is $250,000. You are eating a Ferrari. You just don't see it because you are eating it one bite at a time. To escape the trap, you must embrace inconvenience. You must embrace the difficulty. There is a dignity in doing things yourself. There is a satisfaction in cooking a meal, in fixing a shelf, in walking to the store. It connects you to the reality of your life. It slows you down. Convenience disconnects you. It makes you a passive consumer. Do not be a consumer. Be a producer, be a creator, be a maintainer. That is how you build a fortress. And then here comes the most important concept you can learn, is the concept of maintenance. Most people think wealth is about acquisition, buying new things. But real wealth, durable wealth, is about preservation. There is a force in the universe called entropy. Things fall apart. Iron rusts, wood rots, muscles atrophy, relationships fade. Entropy is nature's favorite hobby. It is relentless. It never sleeps. If you do nothing, your life will fall apart. That is the default state. Wealth is the act of fighting entropy. I see people who are penny wise and pound foolish. They skimp on the oil change for their car to save $50. 2 years later, the engine seizes up and they have to pay $5,000 for a new engine. They didn't save $50. They borrowed $5,000 from their future at an incredibly high interest rate. They skipped the dentist to save $100. 5 years later, they need a root canal and a crown that costs $2,000. They didn't save money. They neglected an asset. The poverty mindset lets the asset rot. Your body is an asset. Your car is an asset. Your home is an asset. Your mind is an asset. If you do not maintain them, they depreciate, they lose value, and eventually they fail catastrophically. The poverty mindset ignores maintenance. It waits for the emergency. It lives in a state of reaction. Oh no, the car broke down. What bad luck. It wasn't bad luck. It was physics. It was the inevitable result of neglect. The wealthy mindset is preventative. It spends a little bit of money and time today to prevent a disaster tomorrow. It brushes the teeth. It changes the oil. It fixes the small leak in the roof before it becomes a rotted beam. Maintenance is boring. It is not sexy. You don't get a dopamine hit from changing your air filters. But maintenance is the highest return on investment you will ever get. The return on a $5 tube of toothpaste is thousands of dollars in dental bills saved. That is a 10,000% return. You can't get that in the stock market. If you want to live well on a low income, you must become a master of maintenance. You must take care of what you own. If you buy a pair of boots, polish them. They will last 10 years instead of 2. If you buy a tool, clean it. If you have a friendship, call the person. Maintain the connection. A well-maintained life is a cheap life. Things don't break. Emergencies don't happen. You glide through life while everyone else is crashing into guardrails. Entropy is the enemy of the poor. Maintenance is the weapon of the rich. Your brain is not designed for the modern economy. Your brain evolved on the savannah where resources were scarce. When you saw food, you ate it. When you saw an opportunity, you grabbed it. But today, we live in a world of abundance and aggressive marketing. Corporations have hired PhD psychologists to hack your dopamine receptors. They know exactly what color to make the buy button. They know exactly what music to play in the store. They know how to create a sense of artificial urgency. Sale ends in 1 hour, only 2 items left. They are hacking your survival instincts to sell you toaster ovens. To defeat this, you need a system. You cannot rely on willpower. Willpower fatigues. Willpower breaks. You need a rule. I use the 24-hour rule. It is very simple. If I see something I want to buy, something that is not a basic necessity like food or medicine, I am not allowed to buy it. I must wait 24 hours. I write it down on a piece of paper. I want to buy this widget, price $50, and then I walk away. Here's what happens. 90% of the time, when I wake up the next morning, the desire is gone. The dopamine spike has faded. The logic has returned. I look at the paper and say, why did I want that? I don't need that. And I cross it off. I just saved $50 by doing absolutely nothing. Impulse spending is financial suicide. It is death by 1,000 cuts. $10 here, $20 there. It doesn't feel like much, but it drains the bucket. The poverty mindset is impulsive. It sees, it wants, it buys. It seeks the immediate gratification to soothe the stress of being broke. It is a vicious cycle. You spend because you are stressed, which makes you broker, which makes you more stressed, which makes you spend more. You have to break the cycle. You have to insert a pause button between the stimulus, seeing the item and the response, buying it. The 24-hour rule is that pause button. It gives your rational brain time to catch up with your emotional brain. And if you really truly need it, you will still need it in 24 hours. The item will still be there, but usually you won't. You will realize that you were trying to buy a feeling, not a product. And feelings are free if you know where to look for them. We are taught that to be happy, we need to add a new car, add a new hobby, add a vacation. But I have found that happiness and wealth comes from subtraction. The less you have, the less you have to worry about. The less you own, the less owns you. I want you to try an exercise. I call it the life audit. Walk through your house. Look at every single object and ask yourself, does this object serve me or do I serve it? Do I use this? Does this make my life better? Or is this just clutter that I have to dust, store, and insure? If it is clutter, get rid of it. Sell it. Donate it. Throw it away. Clear the space. A cluttered home creates a cluttered mind. It creates anxiety. When you strip your life down to the essentials, you realize how little you actually need. And then audit your expenses, look at your bank statement, look at the subscriptions, the streaming services you don't watch, heat gym membership you don't use, even though it's one of the best investments you could make for yourself, the magazine you don't read. These are barnacles on the hull of your ship. They create drag, they slow you down, scrape them off, be ruthless. If you cut $100 of monthly recurring expenses, that is the equivalent of getting a $1,500 raise at work. It is easier to cut expenses by $100 than it is to earn an extra $100. Because when you earn more, you pay taxes. When you save, that money is tax-free. A penny saved is more than a penny earned. It is a penny and a half earned. The strategy of subtraction applies to people too. Audit your social circle. Are your friends encouraging you to be better? Or are they encouraging you to spend money you don't have? Are they competing with you? Are they judging you by your car or your clothes? If so, subtract them. It is better to be alone and solvent than popular and bankrupt. Surround yourself with people who value freedom over stuff. Culture is contagious. If you hang around spendthrifts, you will spend. If you hang around savers, you will save. Protect your environment. It is the soil in which your future grows. There is a moment that comes in everyone's life that acts as an intelligence test. It is the moment of the windfall, a tax refund, a bonus at work, an inheritance, an insurance payout. Suddenly you have $1,000 or $5,000 that you didn't have yesterday. What do? The poverty mindset says, free money. I can finally buy that big screen TV. I can go to Disney World. I can treat myself. I'm not saying you should cut off fun and entertainment from your life, but first you need to act the right way. You need to break the mindset that's keeping you trapped. People who treat the windfall as income to be consumed end up to zero. And in the end, they're struggling to pay the electric bill. The wealthy mindset says this is not income. This is capital. This is a soldier. I can send this soldier to war to fight for my freedom. They take that $1,000 and they kill a debt. They pay off the credit card that is charging them 20% interest. That is a guaranteed 20% return on investment. You cannot find that anywhere else. Or they put it in an emergency fund so that the next time the car breaks, they don't have to use the credit card. Or they invest it in an index fund where it will compound for 30 years. How you handle a windfall tells me everything about your financial future. If you consume it, you will stay poor. If you invest it, you will become rich. It doesn't matter how small the windfall is. It matters what you do with it. I have a rule for found money. 100% of it goes to the balance sheet. None of it goes to the income statement. None of it is for fun. All of it is for freedom. If you do this every time, every tax refund, every birthday check, you will be amazed at how fast you build a margin of safety. You turn luck into destiny. Most people turn luck into a hangover. We live in a society that judges books by their covers. We see a man in an $80,000 truck wearing a $500 watch, and we think he is rich. We see a man in a 10-year-old Honda wearing a t-shirt, and we think he is struggling. But I have seen the bank accounts. The man in the truck is often drowning. He has a $1,200 truck payment. He has credit card debt. He has no savings. He is one missed paycheck away from disaster. He is the visible poor. He is dressed up as a rich man, but it is a costume. The man in the Honda, he might have $500,000 in his brokerage account. He has no debt. He owns his house. He sleeps like a baby. He is the invisible rich. You have to decide which one you want to be. You want to look rich, or do you want to be rich? You usually cannot be both, especially not in the beginning. To become wealthy, you must be willing to look poor. You must be willing to drive the older car. You must be willing to brown bag your lunch. You must be willing to say no when your friends want to go to the expensive steakhouse. This requires a strong ego. It requires character. It is easy to spend money to fit in. It is hard to save money and stand out. But the visible poor are playing a status game that they cannot win. They are running a race where the finish line keeps moving. There will always be a newer truck. There will always be a bigger house. If you tie your self-worth to your stuff, you will be perpetually unhappy. The invisible rich are playing a different game. They are playing the game of liberty. They don't care what you think about their car. They care that they can quit their job if they want to. They care that they can retire at 55. They care that they are safe. Status is a tax on the poor. If you can conquer your need for status, you can escape the trap. Stop looking at your neighbor. He is probably broke. Look at your own ledger. Look at your own goals. Run your own race. Finally, I want to talk about compounding. Einstein called it the eighth wonder of the world. Usually we talk about compounding money, interest on interest. But habits compound too. Choices compound. If you eat a donut every morning, nothing happens on day one. Nothing happens on day two. But after 10 years, you have diabetes and heart disease. The habit compounded. If you read 10 pages of a book every day, nothing happens on day one. But after 10 years, you have read 150 books. You have an education that separates you from the crowd. the knowledge compounded. It is the same with money. Saving $5 a day seems pointless. It's just a coffee. But $5 a day is $1,800 a year. Invested at 7% over 30 years, that is nearly $200,000 from a coffee. The poverty mindset underestimates the small numbers. It says it doesn't matter. The wealthy mindset knows that everything matters. Every dollar is a seed. If you eat the seed, you never get the tree. If you plant the seed, you get a forest. You have to play the long game. The modern world is obsessed with the short game. Get rich quick, lose weight fast, viral fame. But anything that happens quickly can be lost quickly. Real wealth is built slowly. It is built boringly. It is built by spending less than you earn, day after day, year after year. It is built by fixing the leak in the bucket. It is built by maintaining your assets. It is built by controlling your ego. If you do these things, you will wake up one day and realize you are free. You might not have a yacht. You might not have a private jet, but you will have something much more valuable. You will have peace. You will look at the world and realize that you don't need anything from it to be happy. You have enough. I want to leave you with this image. Imagine your life as a fortress. The walls are your savings. The moat is your low burn rate. The guards are your discipline. If you have a high income but high expenses, you are living in a tent on the battlefield. You are exposed. One arrow can take you out. If you have a low income but even lower expenses, you are in a stone keep. The arrows bounce off. The storms rage outside, but inside you are warm. You are safe. Escaping the poverty mindset is about building that fortress. It is not about suffering. It is about security. It is about realizing that the best things in life, freedom, time, health, connection, cannot be bought at a store. They must be built. So stop trying to impress the world. Start trying to protect your future. Audit your life. Embrace the inconvenience. Maintain your assets. Master your impulses. And build your gap. Because when you have enough, you are richer than the billionaire who needs more. That is the only game worth playing. And you can start playing it today with the dollar that is in your pocket right now. Don't spend it. Plan it. And always remember that the society you're living in has handed you a scorecard. It gives you points for the size of your house, the brand of your car, and the price of your clothes. But it gives you 0 points for your peace of mind. It gives you 0 points for your time. Most people spend their entire lives trying to win on this scorecard, only to realize at the finish line that they were playing the wrong game. Real wealth isn't about having the highest score. It's about holding the chalk.